Hello, welcome to another episode of Sera's Room. Today's episode is going to be our first episode in a while. The reason why is because I had to take a little bit of time off to decide on how best I wanted to go about hosting the show, the things we want to talk about, the way we're going to handle the show. So I thought about all these things and I decided, you know what? I need to take a break. And life also happened to me, but that was by the way, but I decided okay, I need to take a break. I need to figure out the best way forward. And I think I have come to a certain agreement with me and the podcast. We've come to a certain agreement. So we'll be having video podcasts from now on. Though you could just listen on Spotify. You don't necessarily have to watch the video, but we'll totally be having video podcasts from now on. I think we have discussed a lot of books, and I think the one book I really would love to talk about, I'm not done reading it, I just started reading it. It's a BL book, it's called Desire. Desire is a Chinese book, actually. Well, let's go on to, because it's a Chinese book. I think the series is out. And yeah, it is out. It is out. It's called ABO Desire. If you want to watch it, it's out. So like the first 3 or 4 episodes are out. The show is the show is very interesting. But I think you might actually prefer the book. But the show is interesting. Let me just quickly do this. Okay. So here, this is what I'm talking about. This is what the show looks like. Anyway, so it's a show about a world where people are grouped into 3 based on their blood type, which is Alpha, Omega, and Beta. But there's also this rare blood type called Enigma. So Enigma is like the strongest out of all of them, which you'd expect to be the Alpha, but the Enigma is the strongest. So the story revolves around 4 couples. It's a 4 couples, sorry. 4 people, 2 couples. The first being Sheng Xiaoyu and Huayong. Huayong is the Enigma, but he fell in love with Sheng Xiaoyu when he was much smaller and everything. And then he decided, okay, he had to have Sheng Xiaoyu. So Sheng Xiaoyu is an alpha, right? Huayong decides, okay, he's going to pretend to be what he's not to get into Sheng Xiaoyu's good books. I don't want to spoil it for you because you're going to go watch the drama anyway. The drama is also very cool. So he's like, Huayong is like, he wants Sheng Xiaoyu, so he decides to act like what he's not, like pitiable and just a poor little Omega. He's not an Omega, but he pretended to be an Omega to get the attention of Sheng Xiaoyu, which he successfully did. Sheng Xiaoyu falls in love with him and then finds out that he's not an Omega, he's an Enigma. Very interesting. I think they're trying to follow the book in the series. So let's just see how they're going to play it out, because there's this whole Empreg situation and everything. So I just want to see how it's going to play out. But I think it's going to be very interesting. So that is one book you might want to check out. Also, there's another book I read. I thought we could just like run through all of them if we can, as fast as we can. This is going to be like the shortest podcast ever. I just wanted this to be like, so that, yeah, you know we're back. but the main podcast is gonna come later on Saturday. But this is just like a filler episode, so you know we're back and we know you're available and you're ready for us at any given point in time. So let's move on. The next series, you might okay. Let's just talk K-pop Demon Hunters while I try to find the next series because it's taking a bit of time. I think everybody has watched K-pop Demon Hunters, but not everybody. Because I haven't. But I love the songs. The songs are cool. The songs remind me of this two boy groups, 80s and EXO. So if you haven't checked out K-pop Demon Hunters, please do. It's a very, very wonderful movie. You want to watch it? I think it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. So you totally check that out. The next one is called Rebirth of Star General. Rebirth of Star General. It's also a show that it's also a Chinese novel. It's coming out. I think sometime this year. I don't know. They haven't decided yet, but it's supposed to come out sometime this year. So we're hoping it does come out like soon. So this is what it looks like. So I think you can find this on Novel Updates. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So it revolves around a girl called Heian who ran away from home. She had to stop bearing her name because okay, let me put it this way, like you know how in olden days Chinese families where all of them all lived together and all that, like brothers, sisters and all of that. So she was the daughter of the younger brother of the head of the household, and her cousin, who was the head of the household son, was too weak, so they took him like far away from the house and all of that. And they were like, okay, since they resembled each other to an extent, she could just pretend to be her cousin. So she was pretending to be her cousin and bearing her cousin's name. And she decides, so when they're like, oh, they want to marry her off, like they wanted to marry a wife for her, she was like, I'm a girl, you cannot marry a wife for me. That kind of a thing. So she was like, I'm a girl, you can't marry a wife for me. And then they were all like, it's not like as if you're going to do anything with the girl, it's just like till your cousin comes back. And she's like, no. So she runs off to the army, right, to prevent the marriage from happening. She runs off to the army. And when she gets to the army, she finds her place in the army. She fights battles. She grows in the army and then she becomes a general. But because she's still using her cousin's name, they think it's her cousin who is a guy, not her. So she comes back to the kingdom as a general. And when she comes back, her uncle is like, oh no, you cannot continue being a general because my son is back now. And since you've been using his name, all the accolades and glory should go to my son, not you. So what we're going to do is so that people don't know that you deceived the emperor, because that's what we're going to make it sound like she deceived the emperor. Like, so that they don't know that you deceived the emperor, what we're going to do is we're just going to put you in, we're just going to pretend like we're just going to marry you off very quickly. So they married her off to another family. And then to cover the entire thing, they decided they had this brilliant idea where they were going to kill her off and everything. So they did kill her off. But by some stroke of luck or some very funny little, I don't know, she somehow enters into the body, like her spirit enters into the body of another girl who happens to bear her same name, Heian. So she decides when she wakes up in that girl's body that she's going to get revenge for her death. So the story literally just revolved around her finding out why she had to die and her getting her revenge. But it wasn't really revenge per se, it was more of like a comeuppance for all the evil that was done to her. Which each page in Rebirth of Star General was amazing, and it really spoke to the feminist side of me. Like, you don't have to, just because I say this is something that a boy does and a woman should not do it, doesn't mean you cannot do it. You should do the best you can do, regardless of which gender is supposed to do it. So if you can do it, please go right ahead and do it. You don't have to wait. Please go right ahead and do it. So I very firmly believe that this is a book that would encourage young women and ladies to put in their very best at whatever they're doing. So I think this is a book you want to recommend to girls everywhere. So I think we talked about two books, Desire and Rebirth of Star General. So like I said earlier, this is a filler episode. The real episode will be coming on Saturday. So thank you for staying around with me this long. I'm back. Serafina is back. So let's have a wonderful time together. Let's have a wonderful time together. Till next time when we meet again, let's try to read a book. Let's try to listen to music. Let's try to have as much fun as we can. And we'll see each other next time. Bye.